Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful blouse inspired by Vicky James. It has a turtleneck and also a structured cape and a kind of a cone-like sleeve and also a conical shape at the hip line. If that's what you want to learn how to make, let's head straight to it. So firstly, you'll be needing your basic bodice front from your shoulder to your hip measurement. Now on the neckline, which is actually on the basic, our neckline is on the basic, I'm going to be removing half an inch. You can also remove one inch for at maximum 1 inch, minimum half inch. This is where the turtleneck is going to sit on. All right, so from that half an inch, I'm going to be curving it towards this part of my armhole. You can choose any part of your armhole. It depends on you. There's no measurement for this. You can choose any part of your armhole. So I'm going to be curving mine to this very point of my armhole like so, and this is what it looks like. So that part now where I marked as terrace is going to be having an illusion neckline. When you cut that part, you're going to be sewing it up with an illusion neckline. So here I'm going ahead to draw in my style line for my armhole princess seam, and this is what it looks like because that is what we are using for this tutorial. The next thing is to attach my sleeve to this very point of the shoulder. Make sure you're facing your front sleeve to your front bodice, and for the cape effect I'm going to be starting from the under bust line. Okay, I'm going to be starting from the under bust line for the cape effect. And now at the center sleeve, I'm marking 4 inches, all right? 4 inches. And the width of my cape, I'm using 2.5 inches. You can decide to use 3 inches, all right? So I'm going to be taking this very point to that 4 inches point at the center sleeve, like so, with my ruler. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do want to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you'll be the very first person to know when I post lovely tutorials like this. So now I'm also going to be connecting from this very point. Remember that point is the under bust line to the 2.5 inches, which is the width of our cape, of the sleeve cape. You can decide to make yours 3 inches. Please watch carefully. There is a lot going on in this dress. Please, you want to watch carefully because I gave detailed explanations for it. So now I'm going to be tracing out that cape design. We're going to be tracing it out. I'm going to have to trace it out, and this is what it looks like. Can you see? I traced it out and I also included the very parts where the darts went in. I'll tell you the reason why we did this later on in this video. I'll be setting the cape aside and I'll go ahead now to detach the sleeve from the bodice so we can work on the bodice proper. So I'll set the sleeve also aside. Now we are going to be working on the bodice. Remember I told you that this dress is an armhole princess seam dart, an armhole princess dart. So we're going to be contouring our under bust. Of course, I'm marking 1 inch apart from my bust apart measurement at the under bust line, and I'm going to be connecting it like so to the bust point and to the waistline like so. Okay, same thing I'll be doing to the other side, like so and like so. So having done this now, we have contoured our under bust to be fit to give us that feminine shape. So the next thing we are going to do is to add fresh pattern papers towards the hip region because we want to get that conical shape effect. Look at the picture we are recreating. You will understand what I'm talking about. We want to get that conical shape effect with a curved basque effect. So now after attaching a fresh pattern paper, I'm going to be marking 3 inches. This is how much I want to, I want my conical shape to be 3 inches. So I'm going to be doing this. The reason why I'm doing this is just in case if you want to add boning, you will know where to put your boning at this very point. That's why I'm doing this. I love to have that rounded fit. I'm also going to be taking it all to the side. Just in case if you want to use boning for this, is optional, but just in case if you want to use boning, so you see the line or the part where you're going to be attaching your boning. So I'm going to be using a curved line to join this to that 3 inches point. If you have your curved square or your curved rule, sorry, you can use it at this point. Now the next thing is to make sure that we get the length of our blouse all the way around. Now you can see the length of my blouse here from the waistline to the hip line is 7 inches. We're going to be taking that 7 inches all the way around like so to the very conical part. So this is going to give us that rounded effect so that it's not just going to be straight. Can you see that? And we still have the same length. It's going to give us that rounded effect. So at this point now, This is what it looks like. We're going to be cutting it out. And remember, we've not done the curved basque effect. We're also going to be doing it, but we're taking everything step by step. So let's get this straight first. I'm going ahead to cut it out to remove the excess papers. And at this point, this is what it looks like. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to get that, basque, that curved basque effect. Now I'm going up by 2 inches from this point. And of course, I'm going to be curving it with a curved line. You want to be very artistic here. You want to give it a very nice shape, a very nice curved shape. That is what I'm trying to do. You want to be very artistic here. I think fashion is art, and your art skill is going to be showing while you're doing your pattern drafting. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to do here right now. You just have to be artistic while doing this. Okay, so I'll advise you use a pencil. So if you feel like your shape is not okay, you can clean it up and redraw it. But right here, I'm using a pen. And this is what I have. I don't know if it's perfect, but you guys, this is what I have. Yours can be better, okay? Use a pencil. So if you feel it's not okay, you can clean it and redraw it. So this is what I'm having right now. I'm trying to make you guys see it very well, like shade it so you guys can see it very well. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do want to subscribe. Click the bell notification icon so you'll be the very first person to know when I post lovely tutorials like this. Like I said before, I'm not close to my workspace, but I'll be arriving at my workspace soon. I think in 2 months' time. So we'll be resuming the sewing tutorial. All right. I don't just do pattern drafting. I also sew. So we'll be resuming the sewing tutorials. So at this point, we have the curved basque effect. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to open up my side bust dart, because we want to create our shoulder princess seam at this point. I want to create the shoulder princess seam. So I'm opening up my side bust dart. Then I'll open up the style line for the armhole princess seam, not shoulder, please, armhole princess seam. While I close up the side bust dart, transferring the excess to that very style line at the armhole, thereby creating my armhole princess seam. Now for this very part, we are going to be cutting this out. Remember, this part, you're going to be cutting it as your illusion net. You'll be using an illusion net to cut this very particular thing out, because you'll be attaching the straight sleeve to it. Okay, you'll be attaching the straight. It's not open. That part is not open. She used an illusion net for it. A net that has the color of your skin for it. It's not just open. So you're going to be setting this aside to cut it. Remember to label. As you can see, I labeled so you don't get confused where you're going to be attaching to your bodice or thereabouts. So that is it. I'm talking too much and I'm really lucky to say. So you guys, I'm going ahead to start cutting this out right now. I also go ahead to cut this out right now. So at this point, this is what our pattern is looking like. I'm going to be giving that part a very smooth effect. So we have the natural, the natural bust effect, and not something pointy that is going to be looking so tacky. No. So we're giving that smooth curved effect, and as you can see, this is what it's looking like right now. Cutting out any excess that we don't need. The tape there, I'm cutting it out. So at this point, this is what it's looking like. Okay. Now you have to cut this part. This is where we drew the style line for our cape. You're cutting it out because, of course, you're going to be joining this cape. You have to join it. All right. After cutting it out, you're going to be taping this part to this part like this. You're going to be taping the upper part like this, thereby making you to have just 2 pieces for this bodice, the upper part and the lower part. So when you sew in your cape, you can just attach the lower part. I hope you guys understand. So also remember that dart at the upper part is necessary. You're going to be sewing it up. Don't just overlook it. No, do not overlook it, please. And if you want to cut this part of the conical shape, you want to cut it out and attach your boning to it, it's up to you. But if you want to leave it like this, it's up to you. So this is all for the front, and we'll head over to the back. For the back also, same thing we did to the front. We're going to be removing 1/2 inch, or we're going to be marking 1/2 inch. And also from that 1/2 inch, you want to connect it to any point of your armhole where you feel comfortable or where is okay for you. All right. And also that part, also for the back, you're going to be using an illusion net to cut it out, to give that, to create that effect as if you're not putting on anything there, but it's actually an illusion net. So for the sleeve, same thing we did to the front. You want to make sure you're attaching the back to the back bodice, the back sleeve to the back bodice. And at this very point, you want to tape it down. And also you want to tape this down. Now, since you have marked the cape for the front, at the center sleeve, it should be the same thing, okay? That 4 inches mark at the center sleeve should be the same thing for the back. But before then, I went ahead to impute my style line for the armhole princess dart for the back. Normally, you should create your armhole princess dart for the back using your shoulder dart, but I don't think that is necessary for this tutorial. So I'll go ahead to just draw in the armhole princess dart for the back, like so. So this is what our back is looking like right now. And like I said previously, we've already determined the cape for the front, and exactly the same thing we're going to be doing for the back. So now you want to determine how depth, or the depth of the cape, how deep your cape is going to be starting from for the back. We're using 9.5 inches. It's up to you. You can use whatever you want. All right. So I'm using my ruler now to connect this to that 4 inches mark at the center sleeve, which we used for the front. Same thing we're also using for the back. So I connected it right so, and also from this same point, I'm connecting also to the 2.5 inches, which is how wide our cape is going to be. Same thing for the front. Also, we're doing the same thing for the back. If you found this video helpful, please share it to other platforms, other sewing platforms where you know it's definitely going to be needed. Okay, and I'm very grateful if you're going to do that. So we're going to be tracing out the cape for the back. I'm going to have to trace out the cape for the back, and this is what it looks like. There are no dots that went into the cape for the back, so it's just a plain cape for the back. I went ahead to label back so I don't get confused. You want to do a lot of labeling so you do not get confused. Trust me, a lot of things are going on in this dress. If you do not label, you might mix things up and you get frustrated while sewing. So you want to label at every point so you know what each paper stands for, what you're supposed to use it for, so you don't get confused. So I haven't done that now. We're done for the back. Next thing we're going to be doing that, we're not done, sorry, please. We're done with the sleeve and the cape stuff. We're going to be doing that conical effect for the back. It's the same procedure we used for the front. It's the same thing we are using for the back, and I'm repeating it again right here, you guys. I'm repeating it. The 3 inches down there, and also that very shape, we're going to be connecting it like so to the 3 inches in a curved line. Now I've done that. Also, we're going to be marking out the length. I really don't know why this length for the back is given 8 inches. Some people like the length of their back longer than that of the front. Well, it's up to you. So I'm marking here to make sure that the length is the same thing. This is what it looks like. So we're going to be cutting this out before we go ahead to create the curved basque effect. So at this point, this is what it's looking like. Okay. So for the curved basque effect, I've marked same thing we did to the front, 2 inches. I'm going to be connecting it. Like I said, be artistic while doing this. So from that 2 inches mark, I'm going to be connecting it to the front in a style line. I really feel like this of the back is actually more beautiful than what I did for the front. I feel the back is more beautiful. So you see, as a result of practice, the back is now more beautiful than the front. I felt I corrected some mistakes I made for the front while drawing this shape. So the back is actually looking very beautiful. So let's yours be very beautiful. Like, so this is what it looks like. The next thing we are going to do is to cut on our armhole princess seam, princess dart for the back. And here we're going to be removing the dart. So this is what it looks like. And also we are going to be cutting out that part where we will be attaching the cape, where we are going to be sewing up the cape like so, okay? So I went ahead to tape this part down. Please, you have to do this and be careful with your paper, with your pattern paper, so you do not lose any part of it. Any pattern you lose from here is going to frustrate you while sewing, because you will find out that it's no longer aligning. So please, you have to be very careful. So this is what the back looks like. Also, I'm going to be detaching this part. Remember to cut it on illusion net, using an illusion net, so the beauty of this design will come out very well. So this is what the back looks like. This is all you need for the back. So let's head straight to the sleeve, which is also very technical on its own. This design, I almost lost, the courage to teach this design because a whole lot is going on here. I was feeling, will you guys understand, since I'm not showing it, but I believe I'm explaining very well. So if you follow my explanation, you're going to understand. We're supposed to join this sleeve to form one at the center sleeve. But before we do that, we're going to close up the dart. Now, I told you earlier on that the reason why we are closing up this dart is if you did not close up this dart, remember you've closed it up on the bodice, where you traced out this one from. If you didn't close it up, you find out that the cape is going to be bigger than the main bodice. And while sewing, you might get frustrated, or you will get frustrated, definitely. So you have to close up the dart so everything is in alignment. Now, before you join the center sleeves together, look at the picture on the screen that we are recreating. You find out that at the center of the sleeve, there is a gap. It's not fitted to her sleeve like a basic sleeve would do. There is a gap, like it is gapping on top of the very sleeve. There are actually two sleeves here. That very red one is the basic sleeve, and the very one that has the design of a lace fabric, or what's this fabric called? A George fabric, is different. So there are two sleeves. Now to get that, you have to rule a line on your center sleeve. So that part is the center sleeve. And from that line, I'm marking 2.5 inches apart on the left and on the right of the center sleeve. That is going to give me that open effect. It's going to give me that open standing effect at the sides, at the center sleeve, please. Okay? It's going to give me that open standing effect at the center sleeve. All right? So as you can see, that part is away from the main sleeve, which is actually the red one. That very red stuff at the armhole, close to the illusion neckline, is a basic sleeve. All right, so there are two sleeves on this very particular dress. There are two sleeves, the sleeve of the George and the basic sleeve that is red in color. So now we're going to be, after the 2 inches apart, I folded it into two. I want that very straight, curvy, pointy effect. So that is what I'm doing now. You can decide to take yours a little upwards by 1 inch if you want something very, dramatic and obvious. So I haven't done that now. This is what it looks like. And I'm going ahead to cut it out like so. I'm taking my time to explain this so you'll be able to sew it when you want to sew it. Trust me, if you follow the explanations in this video, you will make this dress perfectly. All right, so that is what I am doing right now, trying my best to give every explanation that I should give to make you sew this dress nicely. So this is what your cape should look like at this point. This is what your cape should be. Can you see that? This is what your cape should be. All right, this is what your cape should be. So now we'll head over to the sleeve. Like I said, we have two sleeves. So first, you should have two basic sleeves. Now the yellow one is going to be serving as the red one. The white one is going to be serving as the George sleeve. Okay, the yellow one is the basic sleeve, which is the red one. The white one is the George sleeve. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be tracing out this very cape shape on the white one. Remember, it was the yellow one we used to get the the cape effect or the cape design while we were doing our pattern drafting. It was the yellow one we used. So I'm going to be tracing it out on the white one. So that thing comes out on the white one. That is what I'm going to be doing right now. If you have a tracing wheel, you can use a tracing wheel to do this. It's way easier and faster. But if you don't have a tracing wheel, you can do what I'm doing right now. You can just shade it on top of it. It's going to come out on the white one. So you can, as you can see, it's out on the white one. You guys will not see it, but since I'm taking a very close look at it, I can see it properly. All right. So we are going to be doing this. I'm going to be drawing it out like so on it. So now we have the shape on it. This is what it looks like. Okay, I'm labeling front, back, back, front, whichever way. I'm just labeling. So I haven't done that now. This is what it looks like. Now remember that this cape is in alignment with this very sleeve, with the George sleeve. I said the white one is the George sleeve. The cape is in alignment with the George sleeve. So the same way we separated the center sleeve of the cape, we're also going to be separating the center sleeve of the George. And as you can see, the George sleeve is not even a fitted sleeve, it's free. Okay, so that separation at the center sleeve, we're going to be adding fullness to also help us get that free sleeve, free George sleeve. You guys, I'm talking too much. Please pardon me if I'm saying things that, you know, it's because I'm trying to explain the way you guys understand. So now, can you see that if you put this like so? So that 2.5 inches effect, which is 5 inches, 2.5 on both sides, we're also going to be getting it here. Now I'm going to be using my scissors to detach this. Of course, this is an off-shoulder sleeve. Look at it. The George sleeve is off-shoulder. It did not start from the shoulder. It's off-shoulder. Okay, so we're going to be cutting this part out. And of course, we do not need this part. Please, we are working on the George sleeve. Be looking at the picture on the screen as we are working. So on the center of the sleeve, I'm separating this sleeve into two, front and back. I'm separating it into two. Okay. So we're going to get a fresh pattern paper. And on the fresh pattern paper, I'm going to be putting this like so. Then I'll use my pen to mark the center of the sleeve. Even if you do not do this, you can just decide to mark a straight line, and that straight line will serve as the center of your sleeve. And you can start from there. So I haven't done this now. I'm marking the same 2.5 inches we did, like for the cape, here. And also I'm marking it here, front and back, like so. And I went ahead to tape the sleeves down. And after doing that, this sleeve is, the George sleeve is like a kind of a cone sleeve. The George sleeve has a kind of a cone sleeve effect, or, you know, a fish, kind of something like that. So from the elbow, from the elbow of your sleeve, all right, that's what I'm marking out now. That's what I'm marking out. From the elbow of your sleeve, right, you're going to make the elbow of a sleeve, like you're going to get the elbow of a sleeve, which already you have. Then on the hem, you're going to be adding additional 1.5 inches by the side. You can add 2 inches or 2.5, depending on the amount of fabric you have. Now from the elbow, you're joining it to that very 2.5 or 2 inches, sorry. You're joining it like so, and you're going to be using your ruler to get the length. Here I have 5 inches. You want to make sure you go round. The reason for this whole length check is going to give you a very nice hem curve. It's going to give you a very nice hem curve. So that's why I'm always doing it. It's going to make your hemline to come out very nice. So this is what I'm doing right now. And with our scissors, we'll go ahead to start cutting this out. So this is what that George sleeve is looking like. Now, if you put the cape on it, can you see? It's in alignment, like it aligns. It aligns, okay? If you put it on it, it aligns. Can you see that? If you put the cape on it, it aligns. It's perfect. It fits together, all right? So this is the sleeve that is going to be inside and the cape on top of it. So here is all the patterns you need for this very particular tutorial. This is what the front looks like, okay? Just trying to show you guys, this is what the front looks like. And that's that very illusion neckline part of it. You want to sew your sleeve, your cape onto it like so. Okay, this is the sleeve and the very front pattern of it. This is what the whole of the sleeve looks like, okay, please. Like I said, there are two sleeves and also the back pattern. Thanks for watching. Bye.